You're listening to Wake Up Australia on Sydney's 2GB 873.
Senator Pauline Hanson is on the line. Good morning, Pauline. How are you?
Good morning, Mike. Really good. Thanks.
Now, you're saying, in fact, you've been saying this for a little while now, we should exit the WHO. Why?
A little while. Mike, 29 years. In 1996, I actually spoke against the WHO. It's a corrupt organisation. We've got these people in these positions that have no connection with Australia. They have no idea. And the problems throughout the world. With the WHO organisation, okay, I want people to go and think about what happened with COVID.
Mm.
Wuhan and COVID was supposed to have started out of China. WHO and the president or the CEO of WHO actually protected China. They wouldn't actually acknowledge, and they were protecting China over this whole thing that really had an impact on the world.
Mm.
They're an organisation that I don't trust, I don't believe in, and now they're trying to bring in an international pandemic response that they're wanting us to sign over our control of our own country to them to dictate what should happen in a pandemic. I don't trust them. I don't believe in them. They have no skin in the game in Australia. And not only that, it's what it cost us. In September 2023, we committed $100 million to WHO. What did we get for it? Absolutely nothing. Mm. And I've been saying this for years. Get out of these organisations, whether it be WHO, whether it be the Refugee Convention that was set up in 1951. That's 70-odd years ago, 75 years ago. Let's get out of it. The world's changed since then. Even the UN, what we contribute to the UN, even the Paris Agreement, all these things, Donald Trump has got it right.
Yes. Do you think that will make the difference for this country?
Yes, I do. Other countries are going to start looking at it, and I think that if the coalition win the next election, they're going to revise it. The Albanese, I've heard that he's actually going to, with the Paris Agreement, starting to talk to the democratic states. How many are there? You know, what connection is he going to have with America, with the democratic states? You know, the Paris Agreement is just a failing organisation which has allowed India, China and Indonesia, who are the biggest emitters of carbon into the atmosphere, and with our 1%, they're not obligated to rein in what emissions they're making. We are paying a huge price for this, Mike. You know, with our industry, we're losing industries, manufacturing, the cost of this climate change, net zero. People are starting to wake up. The farming sector have had a gutful of it. And I think that people are starting to wake up. It's been a scam.
But it's just ridiculous, the fact that, as you say, China and India are such emitters, and China's apparently going all the way with everything, you know, whether it's renewables, nuclear, and they keep building the coal-fired power stations. And the argument about what we're doing, there's Matt Keane apparently saying, although we only contribute 1% of the CO2 that's supposed to be causing all the change, he says really it's more like 5% as a result of the coal that we sell to China, for example. But that doesn't even make sense. I mean, we're selling it. It actually doesn't have any impact, even if you believe it does, until it's burned. And China are the ones burning it. But the fact of the matter is that they're still an emerging nation. Oh, come on. Why are people...
Yeah, because they're a developing country. That's why they're not under the same guidelines and restrictions as what we are under the Paris Accord or Paris Agreement. So anyway, we actually have to suffer. So we've foregone industries, manufacturing, the emissions, more cost to the public, our cost of electricity, which is driving up the cost of living. So people have to wake up to themselves. It's an absolute scam. And if we turned off all these, everything now, electricity would not make one bit of difference to the emissions that happen in the world. This they're saying on human emissions. 97% of emissions comes from natural resources, whether it's the earth or the oceans. It's not human-produced emissions for a population of 27 million people compared to 1.5 billion people. Wake up, Australia.
But, I discuss with different people what they believe the motives are for Chris Bowen continuing to go the way he does. I mean, even in a pure political, ideological sense, it doesn't seem to make sense to me. Maybe to keep the Greens on side, yes. But, people like Dick Smith have said to me on the air, well, Bowen is delusional. I don't know. Do you think it's that, or is he doing what he thinks is practical in terms of his own political survival? It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
This is about politics, Mike. You've got to follow the money trail.
Yeah.
A lot of the unions run their own superannuation schemes, all right? So it's controlled by it. Superannuation schemes have invested money into the renewable projects. So therefore, the government, which is controlled by the unions, is passing policies and legislation connected with the renewable projects, which your unions are investing a lot of the superannuation into it as well.
Right.
Fear-mongering has happened as well. So a lot of these people, brain dead out there, that really don't understand it, don't research and understand the lies behind all this, and they vote for these political parties, whether it be the Greens or whether it be Labor, based on what they think is going to save the planet.
Right.
So this is a big thing. People need to become aware of it. There's no true science behind it. All of this is based on computer modelling that has happened. There's no pure science on it. Even your records only go back to 1910. They won't disclose any records prior to that when we had high temperatures. If you look at the Earth's atmosphere, it's changed for the last billion years, billions of years that the Earth's been here. We've had, glaciers, we've had ice age, we've had thawing out. It's a change about that the Earth goes through these different climate change over a period of time. So it's not just in our time frame, but they make out that all these bushfires, hurricanes, cyclones, everything that's happening is due to emissions put out by the people. It's ridiculous. It can't be that much when you only 3% of emissions put by the human. That's only on computer modelling, and it could even be less than that. No amount of money you're paying taxes is going to be able to control the temperatures of the world, and the Earth and the sun has so much to do with the temperatures of the Earth.
Well, it's going to be an interesting year, Pauline.
Very interesting. I hope people start to wake up. You're being used as pawns in this chess game by the major political parties and these political parties to actually fear-mongering to get your vote, and you think the world's coming to an end. Think twice about it. What's coming to an end is your way of life, your standard of living, because you're allowing them to control you. This is only the start of it. I will warn people out there. This is going to go at a stage you're going to be controlled in what distances, where you go in your cities. It'll be all you can't have this impact on the climate. It's controlling. And who's going to have control of it? The rich will do whatever they want to, and the plebs, those lower social, economic people out there, you're going to have to toe the line, and you're going to have to be controlled by the government.
Pauline, thank you for that.
Sorry, I hope I haven't upset so many people, but I want to wake up people. Think about it. I see it happening. And, a lot of things that I've predicted over nearly my 30 years in politics, Mike, I've been pretty right in what I've said. And I want people to just wake up, think about it, because it's about the future of their kids, grandkids, take control, research, go and understand what you're voting for, who you're voting for, before you go into that polling booth this next election.
All right, Pauline, thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks, Mike.
Senator Pauline Hanson.